There we go, Derek.
Hey, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Ken, man, how was your weekend?
It was good, man. How about you?
It was good. It was good. So what's driving this question? What's behind this question?
So I do monitor Sam. And I even, I set up all my saved searches, and I get notifications and things like that based on my NAICS codes and my all my search criteria. But lately it's been kind of like you said, I guess it's because of this quarter, it's been very dry. So it's like I haven't been getting updates. I go on Sam and look, and then sometimes I just kind of get in the weeds of looking and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, you know, because time is like I'm trying not to waste too much time,
Yeah,
getting chasing squirrels. And I
totally.
guess I kind of got into that. Actually, I started looking at. So I don't know if you remember the first bid I did that we lost, and we did talk to the core, and I sent him my capability statement, and he wanted to pass that around across DHS in my area, and so that was good. But like I said, I started looking at DHS's their not the capability, but their strategic plan and stuff like that, and I just kind of start going through their
Like their small
website.
business page.
I'm sorry.
Like their small business page.
Yeah. So, and that's how I kind of got on
Okay.
the plan and forecast system. So as I was getting on, I was like, man, am I still chasing squirrels? That's why I kind of wanted to bring it up to see if that's something I should just be looking at, because it's not, I mean, they have a lot of different search criteria and stuff like that as well. But, I didn't want to get too far in the weeds of that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
to do it as a supplement to Sam is kind of what I was thinking, especially since it's been kind of quiet under my search criteria with Sam right now. So
Okay.
that was kind of my thought
Got
process.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And thank you for expanding on that. I always enjoy kind of talking about things like this because I think it's because I can relate so much to it, and I think we can all relate so much to it in life. And we'll kind of see where this goes. But so where I'll start with is so we have a process and a system that works. So and it's worked because it's been proven to work many times over. So when there is a proven process and system that works, and then when somebody starts to follow that process or system and they're saying it's not working, which in kind of some words is kind of what you're getting at. Otherwise, you wouldn't be feeling this. When a person starts to feel like something isn't working, they start to feel like something is broken. And because we start to feel like it's broken, we start trying to fix it, especially as guys being logical minded. And I mean, guys, gals too. But I don't know. Most guys are really like, let's jump in and solve the problem. So we start trying to fix the problem. And in doing so, that leads us outside of what we're doing. We start looking at new things, things that are different than what we're already doing because what we're doing isn't working or something's broken, right? So we go outwards instead of inwards. And looking at the forecast and all that, I think it's a pretty solid example of looking outwards. And I totally understand the logic behind using it as a supplement or wanting to use it as a supplement. However, it's not really a supplement because those are not live bids, right? It's just a forecast saying the bid is coming. So it doesn't actually solve the problem, but it's something that kind of appeases the mind to make it feel like, okay, I'll have more to go after. So, we're getting closer to the root of the problem. I'm not having enough to go after. Okay, well, why am I not having enough to go after? Okay, well, what are the results I'm currently getting? What are the results currently showing for me on, in this literal search results on sam.gov? It's X, Y, and Z. Okay, well, what's determining that? My searches. Okay, well, what do our searches look like? Okay, NAICS codes, PSE codes, keywords, whatever. Okay, well, then what does that look like? So to solve the problem, you can't go outward because, as you know, Derek, and everybody, just listening to the way this is laid out, if the problem is not finding enough on SAM, going outwards is not going to put more on. It's not going to put more on SAM. So that is actually an incorrect solution to the problem. So it's actually better to go inward. And but we all do this. We all do this naturally and very instinctually. We have to kind of do the opposite. We have to go inwards and look at our current systems and our processes. And everybody should be having this problem to some extent. That's how normal this is, Derek. Everybody at some point in time should struggle a little bit with their searches and the search results they're getting. Why? Because it's a dialing in process. And that process is ever changing. So if you're thinking you're just going to set it and forget it and cook the chicken, that's not right. Like, you need to constantly be dialing these, whether it's quarterly or monthly. And dialing means looking at your actual searches, right? And that's why there's so much emphasis put on at the beginning of our processes, like our prospecting process. Because if we're not happy with those search results, we can't move on from that step. If we do move on, we end up having this problem. And I don't know if this is what your journey was or not, but things could have been good, right? And so you moved on to system number 2. And then for whatever reason, now system number 1 is not working as good, right? So that could have happened as well. Like, it could have been working good and now it's not. Or it could have been the case that it was never working good, and then we moved on anyways, and now we're facing this problem. So I'm going to pause for a second, Derek, and I'm going to ask you if you have a clear understanding between those two options. Which one is you? Like, were you having good searches and now they've dried up, or were you never really having that great of searches?
Yeah, that's a good point. So when I started in November and I set everything up, and I mean, it was just raining results. My searches were great and I was getting a lot of good stuff. I mean, it was kind of to the point it was like overwhelming. And then I guess around about mid-January, everything just got, dead quiet.
Mhm.
And like you said, I just started kind of, I don't know, maybe panicking or whatever. Just started looking like maybe there's nothing out there, and started kind of going down the wrong path, kind of looking outward instead of inward. And it makes sense because, in other things I've done, it was never a set it and forget it type thing. And I guess I just kind of lost focus on that,
Mhm.
because most things I do it's always you have to go back and work it, tweak it, and just kind of get it more precise. And so I guess I kind of just lost focus on that and just kind of went down, whatever outside however I got to where I am now. But
100%,
yeah,
man, and it's
so
totally normal. And I already know that you know everything that I just said, but I think it's like what you just said. It's kind of just that reminder piece. Otherwise, we'll just drive ourselves crazy and we'll go in a circle. And I want to keep you on
exactly.
a straight path as possible. But there is a little bit more that I want to dig into this and just clarify. What exactly, if you have an umbrella, and if you don't have an umbrella, you should know what the umbrella is by this point. What are the goods and services that your umbrella is made up with? Or if you don't have an umbrella, just tell me that too.
So the umbrella of the services is in
Mhm.
like waste and disposal and recycling.
Mhm.
Um and so that's the big umbrella. And then it kind of, as I looked, when I was setting up my searches and found things, and I looked at the next code for that, and sometimes it goes like, it'll say like general, it'll say like janitorial, it'll say all these different things, and it
Mhm.
just kind of breaks down to all these different categories.
Yes.
And so I started applying a lot of them, and that's kind of where you were talking about, kind of like zoning in on what service I'm directly targeting. And so as I started zoning down, as I started narrowing my scope, then I was able to find stuff exactly what I was looking for, you know. But the bigger umbrella was just in like waste and disposal.
Got it. So waste and disposal, I'll give you recycling. So we'll say those are 2. So if you're thinking of like pillars, or think of the Parthenon from Rome, from Greece. has all these columns that it's if one of the columns break, you know, we're talking about diversification here. And its diversification is in a sweet spot. So if you think of an umbrella and you have these little poles that come out, it's not just one pole that holds up the entire thing and stops the rain from coming down. It's three or four. So this is for everybody. If you're wanting a stronger umbrella, a more robust umbrella, meaning you have more bids that are a close match to your offering to go after, you can stick within that range of say 2 to 5 poles, 2 to 5 columns to make that umbrella. And you're right at the bare minimum of 2 with waste and disposal. And I'm giving you recycling as a second one. But that arguably could be part of the same one as well, depending. So you don't have a strong base. And this is a decision to make as a business owner, because Derek, I'm sure you and everybody knows, like I tell everybody, we do not get to come to the government space, especially the federal space, and tell them what they're going to buy from us. We have to work backwards from what the government is offering. That list of search results on SAM, that is a list of problems, okay? And we are a solution provider, okay? We solve problems. That's what government contractors are. We rise to the occasion and we solve problems, okay? And we do it in our areas of expertise. It doesn't mean you do everything from here to there and everything in between. No, that's never the case. But you cut out a slice of that range in the spectrum and you carve out your space. And you say, okay, this is the list of problems that we've signed up to solve. If you're not finding enough search results or enough opportunities, really what that means is you're not solving enough problems, and you haven't positioned your business in a way to solve enough problems for the government. And enough is a subjective words. It's enough is different for everybody. So it's just the results you're getting is really what you signed up for. If you want more, you sign up for more. And we try to make it as complementary as possible so that we're not like being all over the map here. And that's where that can be an uncomfortable place for a small business owner, but it is the way federal contracting works, and it becomes a decision. So as you're seeing janitorial, as you're seeing other things come up to your main search results, if it's something you don't want to expand into, that's totally fine. But if you are finding adjacent things that can become a third or a fourth pillar, column, whatever for your umbrella, it's going to dramatically reduce slow times throughout the year. If you're okay with slow times because you only have 1 or 2, stokes in your umbrella, that's fine. So that's the one piece that I just wanted to say. And I know you probably already know that, but I'm just telling you, like, as your federal contracting business grows, it's the opposite of the commercial space. In the commercial space, what we do is we get more and more niche. We niche down, become more and more specific, and that niching down becomes our competitive advantage in the commercial space. In the government space, it's totally opposite. These companies, they become parent companies, and they start doing this, and they start doing that, and they start doing that, and they branch out into all these different areas. You don't start out doing that, but you start out having an open mind to say, okay, is there anything in addition to what I'm already doing that I'm willing to work with? And it doesn't mean you have to self-perform 100% of it. You can grow into using teaming and working with subcontractors, et cetera. So we no longer become the bottleneck in our business, and we become more about steering the ship and managing the business that allows us to open up and grow. Okay, so there's that piece. And then the second piece is just, I'll keep it short. This is something everybody can use. If you are not seeing as many opportunities that are live bids, and Derek, I wanted to ask you for these searches. This one's just a simple yes or no, but the searches that you're running, Derek, are these solicitations, combined synopsis solicitations, or are these like everything that you're looking at? Awards, pre-solicitations, sources sought, full-blown solicitations? Which one is it? Is it only the live bids as we teach in the system, in the program, or is it like everything under the sun for the notice types?
No, it's just only the live bids.
Perfect. Okay, so with that being said, the only other thing that I'll add here is if you're wanting to open it up, you could add a search for the pre-sols and the sources soughts, because those are ones that are going to be coming down the pipeline that you can click that follow button or that watch button in sam.gov. So it's actually way easier than going to the individual agency and looking at the forecast, it's still looking at something that's on SAM. So it's already made it to SAM. It's just at, you know, one of those earlier, because there's 4 stages of a bid, right? Source of sought, pre-sale, solicitation, award. So if you're wanting to just beef it up a little bit and beef up your pipeline, that is something that you could use as a lever to open it up just a little bit. So you could add source of sought, you could add pre-solicitations to your searches, and then you'll be able to see that there's more coming down the pipeline and when they're coming down the pipeline if you're facing this problem. Does that make sense, Derek?
Yeah, totally. And you brought up, you know, good points, things that I didn't really think about, especially with the umbrella and get my in the column analogy. So I think I can spend better time doing that than I can chasing down you know, all these because the planning forecast system is pretty robust as well. So it's, you know.
Yeah, because I still want you focused on doing this stuff. So like, it's just, how can we accomplish what you're trying to accomplish within the context of still doing like the stuff, still like working backwards from bidding, not getting distracted with things that are different from, you know, bidding, or could end up being a bit of busy work because it ends up leading nowhere. We want to stay away from stuff like that. So
Right.
if you want, you know, like on a future call on Friday or whenever, if you want to strategize more about this stuff, like just come on and we can do it. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Derek.
Definitely, because this is a great time. This is a great time to do it because it is going to be getting busier, and maybe it'll get so busy that you don't even need to consider it. But it's going to be getting busier. So if you and anybody else is wanting to do a slight realignment or repositioning, now's a great time because there's going to be a lot of opportunities coming down over the next couple quarters. So, all right, thanks for that, Derek. Great question and which led to a great scenario.